Hi, I'm Troy Buell, and this is Just Us Not All. In this episode of Just Us Not All, we will be discussing how America likes to separate people. They separate black from white, men from women.
When all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands.
Anything they can separate, they will separate. This is Just Us Not All, divided states of America.
For just us, not all.
This is the divided states of America. And we call it the divided states of America because America likes to keep people divided. They divide everybody, and they divide them for a reason. So this way, when they're coming for people, they come for people in groups.
In Germany, they came first for the communists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I was a Protestant. Then they came for me. And by that time, nobody was left to speak up.
America likes to keep control, and how they keep control is by keeping us divided.
Where I'm living ain't right. Black hate white, white hate black.
Black hate white, white hate black. Not because of our skin color, but because of the United States government. This is the way the United States government kept it for centuries. During the bad days of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, slavery.
Over do I see the line of
My people, back to the beginning.
The Pilgrims was escaping persecution from England. They didn't like the laws or anything that England had to say, and they was like, no, this is not fair, and we're going to go back, and they set up in the new land. The funny part about setting up the new land, they established the same exact laws they were running from. Ironic, isn't it? Except they didn't have to live under them. Now everybody else lives under these same laws. Here comes the slaves. The slaves come and they say, okay, we need people to tend the slaves. What Great Britain did, they took the criminals. If you was convicted of a crime, you had to go to the Americas. White men and women came to America in shackles. You see, history doesn't tell you that. Why? Because they want to keep you separated. They want to keep you thinking you're different from them. They're not. They called it indentured servitude. So a period of time, you will work off what you owe. It's commonly done even to this day. If they need somebody for a war, if we're losing a war like in Vietnam, when we're losing the Vietnam War, they took men, instead of giving them jail sentences, they said, okay, you will go to the military.
A fucking Marine, gee. Yeah, it was either this or jail, right? After boot camp, I ain't so sure it was such a good deal.
They did the same thing in Britain. Britain took these evil people and said, okay, you're going to go to the Americas and you will be bound there for a period of 20 years. Then you can come back to England if you want to, but before then, no. They went to the Americas in shackles. And this is where the term redneck came from, because the shackles on their neck turns their neck cherry red. So you had the niggers over here, which the niggers come from a term, Africa, king. Okay, you had the niggers over here and the rednecks over here. The funny part is the niggers and the rednecks got together. And they said, listen, we don't speak the same language, but we're in the same situation. All right, we need to escape from here. All right, you whistle and we're going to cut these chains. And they work together. That's when the white man realized, wait a minute, we got to separate these people. The rednecks became more servants to watch over the blacks. They watched over the blacks as they worked in the field. And they did this because they needed to separate them, because they couldn't put the whites in the field because they was working together. The whites was elevated, realizing that America did not have enough security. That was the problem. This is the reason why they developed this dividing system. They did not have enough security, actually. Now America has 18,000 law enforcement agencies. 18,000 law enforcement agencies. But back in the beginning, they had very few. So the slaves outnumbered masters and his workers. So if the workers are working, if the rednecks are working with the Africans, what happens? They'll kill all the slave owners, of course. So they elevate them and say, you watch them, but you know how they think. They think like you think because you weren't one of them. You know how they think. You know when they whistle. You know when they cut their eye, what they mean. You broke bread with them. So therefore, they use racism as a weapon. They began to import white people because they realized they were outnumbered. And with all the slave revolts, they were getting slaughtered. So they imported white people and trained them in the art of racism. Do not join the blacks. Even though poor whites and poor blacks were in the same situation. Same exact situation. But they didn't join each other because the government was smart enough to know, keep these people separated or they will overrun the government. When they wrote the Constitution, they put in the Second Amendment that the right to bear arms, they shall not be infringed. The reason why, because they had to fight the war against Great Britain. And when they were fighting the war against Great Britain, they didn't have, again, they did not have enough security to fight the war. So they had to either enlist the slaves or they had to enlist the farmers, which were ex-criminals. So they had to make a law that no matter what, you can own a gun and you can raise a militia. And this is what they did. These were people who had beef with Great Britain to begin with. I get a gun and I can kill some British people, I'm down. They signed up and they were down.
You sure this is the right place to recruit for a militia?
God save King George!
Fast forward to Martin Luther King days. You had black people stuck together no matter what. Black people stuck with black people. Black men stuck with black women. We got hoes, we got beat, we got dragged into prison, but we stuck together. We knew what it was.
All of you hear me? You are in violation of Section 1159 down the City Code, demonstrating and parading without a permit. Also violating a traffic judge injunction against parade.
We must say to our white brothers all over the South who will try to keep us down, we will match your capacity to inflict suffering. With our capacity to endure suffering, we will meet your physical force with.
Now, the divided states of America is teaching black men and black women, you're different. They teaching black women, you're women that happen to be black. So therefore, there's no more black women. A lot of black women are going for this. At least this is what they promote. They make you believe this is true. They put ads and billboards and televisions and giving women that are willing to say this a platform.
One solution might be for Black women to start considering dating outside of their race.
Give you a platform that promotes this. But in reality, this is not what's really going on. Over 97% of Black women are loyal to Black men. 89% of Black men are loyal to Black women. So the game plan isn't working, but they're going to keep promoting, keep promoting, keep promoting. And then they create the platforms and act like they trying to bridge the divide, but they are the ones that's creating the divide. Black women are very loyal. They just being the loyal ones, which is like 98% of Black women, are being silent about it, while the less than 2% are given a platform and a megaphone to scream and yell at the top of their lungs. This is the same thing that, and the same strategy they use with women's suffrage movement. It was less than 2% of women wanted to even vote. Women literally said, I don't want to vote. They had to make the laws for the women specifically and say, oh, the reason why women didn't want to vote because of they got to get drafted, you got to pay taxes, you got to do all of these things to vote. So they changed the law for women and said, okay, you don't have to draft, you don't have to pay taxes, you don't have to do none of this stuff. Just vote. Okay, why not? And less than 2% of women wanted it. And then, even then, women had the right to vote. They still didn't vote. They wasn't interested. Now they're separating Black men and Black women. And they want to give you this illusion. But I want to tell you to the Black man and to the Black woman, Black people are not crazy. We still stick together. Unfortunately, we're not marrying because of the laws, because we are allowing the laws, the government, to interfere in personal relationships. How far is the government reach gonna go? How far do you want the government reach to go? Do you really need that much of a crust that the government just propels you and holds you up? If so, good luck to you. But real strong people, we don't need crutches. You don't see a football player that just got injured come out with crutches to play, right? He doesn't go, oh, we still need you to do the running back.
I know what you think about Booby Miles, who is your brother. And he would die to be out there on that field with you tonight. And I want you to put that in your hearts.
Hey, take these crutches and go out there. No. They need the strongest men to play. So no matter how strong you are, if you're on crutches, you're no good to us. Well, that's the same thing in the Black community. We don't need you on crutches. All right? You're going to take welfare, child support, alimony, whatever. And you're thinking that you're getting over, but you're destroying the Black community. Why are they doing this? Why do they want to destroy the Black community? Because white people will be all gone by the year 2040. 2040. Year 2050, there will be probably less than 10% of white people in the world. So they're dying out. And they're promoting this because they need the Black woman to help them. If the Black woman has their babies, they can probably breed back out. They have a chance at breeding back out and coming back to premonition in 100 years. And in 200 years, they probably could retake their throne. But that's the plan.
Because really, since women stopped being able to have babies, what's left to hope for?
Show him.
Now you know what's at stake.
The plan is to destroy the Black man, impregnate the Black woman, and hopefully before they die out, they'll have a chance to rebreed back out. That is the plan. That's why they're doing all this desperate promotions. That's why they're elevating the black woman.
The African American community, because especially African American women, I happen to be one, they're pretty politically savvy. So
they don't even respect her at all, but they need right now to do that. All of those 60s beating them, throwing them in jail, doing all types of things to them. Now all of a sudden you love them. The only people that's ever loved the black women were black men. And the only people that loved the black man was black women. And we always stuck together. Now they're separating us. Do not let them separate us. I love the black woman. I'm crazy about the black woman. This has been Just Us, Not All. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And we've been shadow banned by YouTube. So please share. Please find somebody to share it with. This has been Just Us, Not All. Divided States of America.